Hello students, today we will discuss one of the important lesson, that is metals and non-metals. So before discussing regarding these metals and non-metals, we have to know the definition of an element. So what is an element means? Element is a substance that cannot be broken into simpler substances. So that means, for example, if any substance is like this, okay, so even how much force or how much pressure if we apply on it also, we are not able to break it into simple pieces. Okay, if we are not able to break any substance into small substances, then this one is nothing but element. So element means any substance that cannot be broken into simpler substances, and these elements can be categorized into totally 4 types, that is metals, non-metals, metalloids and noble gases. So now our topic is metals and non-metals. So what is a metal and what is a non-metal means? So metal is nothing but any substance which is able to lose its electrons. Compulsory metals has to lose electrons. For example, if you take sodium, it can easily loses 1 electron and it converts into Na plus ion. If you take magnesium, it loses 2 electrons and can converts into Mg2 plus. So like that, any substance, if it is able to lose electrons readily, then that substance is called metals. And non-metals means which are readily gain the electrons. If you take chlorine, it can gain 1 electron and can convert into Cl minus ions. So if you take bromine, it can also gain 1 electron and forms bromine ion. So like that, metals means they have to lose, non-metals means they have to gain. Now coming to the physical properties of metals as well as the non-metals. The first important property is malleability. So how can we define the malleability means? It is the process of beating into thin sheets. For example, let it be if it is a metal. If we apply on pressure, for example, if you start beating with a hammer, then it has to convert in the form of thin sheets. Okay, so the ability to convert any substance in the form of thin sheets is called malleability. These metals are malleable. That means we can easily convert these metals in the form of thin sheets. For example, if you consider sweets, on the sweets we can see silver foil, white color layer will be there, no? That is nothing but silver. Silver is obviously a metal. So on the sweets you can see that silver foil is present as a very thin layer. So we can convert the silver in the form of a thin layer. This process of converting into thin layers is nothing but malleability. So metals are malleable. But whereas non-metals are non-malleable. Why? Because they are brittle. Brittle means ready to break. So brittle means ready to break. For example, if you drop that, it will easily broken down into small pieces. So for example, if you take any non-metal, so if you drop it, obviously it will convert into small pieces. So non-metals are brittle in nature, so they are non-malleable. Next, coming to another property, that is ductility. So ductility is nothing but the process of drawing into thin wires. So that means, for example, metal is there, we have to make it in the form of thin wires. That means if you take our electrical wires, in that copper will be there, right? So copper, if you see that it is present in very thin. So if you draw any metal in the form of thin wires, that property is called ductility property. So metals obviously ductile, that is the reason copper and all what we are taking in the electrical wires. So they are very thin, so metals are having ductile nature. But whereas non-metals, obviously they are non-ductile. Why? They are brittle in nature. So because of their ready to breaking nature, we cannot convert into sheets as well as into wires. But all metals are not malleable as well as ductile. For example, if you take zinc, it is not malleable and as well as it is not ductile. So generally this zinc in fact it is hot, but it is brittle. Brittle means we can see this is a property of the non-metals. Zinc is having the nature of brittle. But if you maintain the temperature of around 1000 to 1500 degrees centigrade, it can become as malleable as well as ductile. But if any changes in this temperature, again it is converting into non-malleable as well as non-ductile. So zinc is the exceptional case. Coming to the next property, electrical conductivity and thermal conductivity. So conductivity is nothing but flow of ions. Conductivity is nothing but flow of ions. Here electrical conductivity means the flow of ions which causes electricity, and here the ions which causes heat. Thermal is nothing but heat. So coming to the metals, they are good conductors of heat and electricity because of free mobile electrons in it. Mobile means moving. If you take the metals, the electrons will be in mobile conditions. Mobile means they are ready to move. So we all know electricity is nothing but what? Flow of electrons, or flow of ions is nothing but current. So as in these metals, they are having free mobile electrons. Because of their movement, the heat as well as the electricity can move. So that is the reason metals are very good conductors of heat as well as the electricity. For example, if we are cooking anything in our kitchen, without the help of any cloth, we can't touch the vessel directly. Why? Because if you take any vessel, if it is made up of any metal, so it can easily absorb that heat. So if we touch that vessel without the help of any cloth or handle anything, so our skin would burn. Whereas coming to non-metals, they are poor conductors. That means it doesn't conduct the heat as well as the electricity. That is the reason for cooking vessels and all, they are having the handles which are made up of non-metals. You can see for cooking handles, plastic will be the coating of the handles. So let it be, for example, if this is a vessel, you can see the handle is made up of plastic. So easily we can touch that even if it is hot. Okay. So whenever if the handle is made up of the plastic which is a non-metal, so it doesn't cause the conductivity of the heat, so our skin won't burn. So that is the reason our cooking vessels, that means the handles are made up of non-metals but not the metals. Next, coming to the luster. Luster is nothing but the property of shining, so brightness. So you can see the metals are having lustrous property. If you take gold or silver, whatever may be, so these metals are having lustrous in nature, shining property. But if you take non-metals, these are not at all shining. They won't shine, but still it is also having exceptional. So that is, if you take diamond, diamond is nothing but allotropic form of the carbon. Carbon is a non-metal. So in fact, diamond, which is an allotropic form of a carbon, which is a non-metal, it is having lustrous property. Next, coming to the hardness. So metals are hard. Metals are hard. Almost all metals are hard, but still it is also having some exceptional cases. That is, if you take potassium or sodium, these metals are soft metals. That means easily we can cut with the help of a knife. Whereas non-metals, obviously they are soft in nature. Next, coming to the melting point and boiling point, obviously these metals are having high temperature. High temperature, they requires high melting point as well as high boiling point. Whereas non-metals, they will have low melting as well as low boiling points. Next, coming to the another property, sonority. So sonority is nothing but producing the sound. Producing the sound. So metals, obviously they are having sonorous property. Why? Because for example, if you take our school bells, so it is made up of obviously metals only, or temple bells. So if we hit them, it can produce big sound, right? It can produce big sound. So metals can produce big sound. That is the reason either for school bells or temple bells. So that bells are made up of metals but not non-metals. So these non-metals, if you take, obviously they are non-sonorous. If you take this plastic or wood as an example, they won't create too much of sound. And coming to the last physical property, metals are solid at room temperature. almost all metals are solids at room temperature, but still it is also having exceptional case, that is mercury. And even gallium also, if you consider, mercury and gallium are present in liquid states. Almost all metals are present in solid state at room temperature, whereas mercury and gallium are present in liquid states. Next, coming to non-metals, they can be present in solid or liquid as well as gaseous state. For example, if you take solid example, carbon, okay, sulfur, all these are solid non-metals. So liquid non-metals we can consider is bromine, very important bit. So liquid metals are mercury and gallium, liquid non-metals are bromine. Liquid non-metal is bromine. Gases, obviously chlorine, and even if you take sulfur gas or carbon gas, whatever the gases, maybe even nitrogen, all these are present in gaseous state. Non-metal, that is bromine, is present in the liquid state, carbon, sulfur, etc. present in the solid state. So these are the physical properties of the solids, metals and non-metals.